Okay, so while I'm getting my gloves on, I'm going to do an ombre using the Micro Vibes Unfortunate Souls from It's Pretty Personal, so we can see how this looks just under resin. I don't have the larger cut of it. They do have a bigger cut, but I don't own it because I have almost identical glitters from several other companies, so I feel like this Ice Queen from Maker Flow Crafts is the closest to the same. So that's what I'm going to use for the bottom part. So I base painted my cup a purple. And this is a chunky. It is not going to come out the shaker side. I know better. So I'm going to try and go close to the curve with the chunky, because I decided to use a 20-ounce curve for this one. And I decided on a purple base, so if I have any gaps in the chunky, I mean there really shouldn't be because it's a good mix, but if there were any gaps, at least they'll be purple and kind of blend in more. So that's as far as I'm going to go with that right now. I'm going to come over and grab this one. Apparently I didn't shake that off well enough. And I'm just going to get started. I'm going to again come about to the curve. You can see how similar they are. They're actually picking up the same colors as I turn it, so that's why I wasn't too concerned. But I'm going to dump them both into a cup for a moment, because I'm going to do the rest of my ombre by hand. This is probably not all going to fit in this cup. Right? And I only have one hand now, so whatever I lose on this paper will probably go in my dump cup. I prepped this, I painted it, I put somewhere less than 5 mLs of resin on the cup to start. To use the epoxy method for tacking it down. So that's where I'm at. I'm not terribly concerned if I mix some of that fine into this chunky, because yeah, it's basically the same thing. Whatever's left on the paper after this will go in my dump cup anyways. I've got a couple other random cups kicking around that need to go in the dump cup, so it's time to open it up and add to it. And I am just gonna finish it off now. I may actually not even add it to the dump cup. I might put it in a separate container as its own special mix. Because I did stock up on containers when I was at Dollar Tree last. So that is it, not under epoxy. I'm gonna let it sit a couple minutes and then pat it down, unless it's not gonna stick to my hand right now. If it's dry enough, I'll just pat it now. It might be okay. It's just so pretty. I think I ordered whatever version of this from just about every glitter supplier I buy from at this point. I've probably got 6 of them at this point. Which is funny since I so seldom use it. But I'll probably get the bigger cut of this one at some point. Just to add to the collection. So, I used liquidy split for this, so I'm going to let it sit for a couple hours just to firm up a bit, and then I'm going to come in and give it its flood coat, and I will bring you back for that. But we're trying to see how it looks glitter versus Tack It. That's our goal here. So I'll be back. Okay, let's see how this looks under a coat of resin. I'm going to give this a really good flood coat. I didn't seal this because it's matching ombre and it was epoxy method. I'm going to pick up probably a little bit of the glitter, but not too much. So and I'm not real concerned with it since it does pretty well match top to bottom. So I never did come back and pat this down again, so the chunky is definitely chunky. I just had some stuff come up and life happens. So that is part of why I'm giving it such a heavy coat. Because even if the top is fully coated with a flood coat, I can move on to decal for the top, even if the bottom still needs work. Not that I have any clue what I'm doing with this one yet. So, just going to make sure it's pretty smoothed out. And it'll level itself off, but I don't want this drippy edge though. There. Okay. So I'm going to grab that other cup again just so we can compare under epoxy. Pretty similar. Shift-wise, anyways, but different but the same. Gorgeous either way. Tack it or non-tack it. I love it. So So I'll be back when I figure out what I'm going to do for decal on this one. Okay, so I picked a pretty simple decal to go on this, because I wanted to keep it similar to the other one for comparison's sake. So I used the same vinyl, the HTV Ront Silver Holographic Sparkle. So I'm just getting it on my transfer tape. And this one just says Blessed Mom. I'm going to scoot this a little bit towards me. And this cup does have a little bit of a taper, so it's going to be probably a little finicky around here. There we go. Just making sure I got it all pushed down. So I'm going to get some resin mixed up and we will be right back to get resin on this. Okay, my resin is mixed and I am ready to apply a coat. I think looks good. So here we go. This will probably be it for this, as long as it's smooth, because it's already had a couple coats to do the chunky glitter, so it should be okay at this point. When I'm done, I'm going to go grab that other cup just so we can really look at them side by side, the just regular epoxy method glitter versus the Tack It method. Since I'd made these quite similarly. I meant to grab it before I started filming and I just forgot it was out in the kitchen to get washed since the other one was finished. Alright, so I will be back in a few minutes to compare this one to the other one and get you a close-up of this one. Okay, so here's a close-up of this one. I got the light turned off of it a little bit. It's just beautiful. That's how that decal looked on there under the resin. So I'm going to bring in this one too in the same light. The Tack It one we did, and now the straight just glitter. It's still gorgeous. The glitter still shifts, just not like it does with the Tack It method. So, I don't know. I should show them to you in this direction. But anyways, that is it for this one. I hope you love it as much as I did. Thank you.